Hello. Hello. Good evening. Happy Waffle Party Thursday. I'm just getting a little set up here. Welcome aboard. Comment with where you're coming from. I'm excited to talk everything today. We're talking Severance rewatch. We're going to talk about anything else we're watching right now. So The Last of Us, maybe we'll check in with The Last of Us. I want to hear what you're watching, what we're thinking about, all that fun stuff. So grab a waffle and let's get settled. What color are we feeling today? Purple? Green? Blue? Light blue? This green? Red? Ooh, that's too Star Wars. All right, hello everyone. Hi friends. Thursday, I know my Thursdays are so lonely without Severance, but I've been rewatching this one or the green. We'll stick with where we were before, kind of like a light blue. All right, yeah. Defiant Jazz Color Experience. We're gonna have a dance party in here. So everyone gather in, come on in, excited to chat. We're gonna chat Severance. Not sure how many people are watching the rewatch with me, but I'm finding out so many interesting things about Severance that I just hadn't thought about before. So the rewatch has definitely been awesome. So let's say hello, Carl, hello, Rock Road. We got John Cook, Claude Simeon, hello. Gand Cooper, Mark Bowyer, Nicholas, Roll Cake. My people, how are we doing? How are we doing without Severance in our lives? What's everyone watching these days? What's got you thinking a lot? I've just stopped thinking, honestly, since Severance ended. There's nothing more to think about, honestly. No, just kidding. I'm watching The Last of Us. You enjoy all colors equally. Okay, can we talk about that? Because I just got to that part of when I'm rewatching season 1, where Irving goes to see Miss Casey for the first time, and she's so harsh. Like, I know it's not her fault, but why do we think you need to enjoy every fact about yourself equally? Like, anything Irving reacted to, she took 10 points off of him. So what's up with that? What's up with that? Carl's working on a rewatch of Severance. Nice, Carl. Yeah, I thought about the tempers too. Except, I mean, I guess the whole point of a wellness session is to go and balance your tempers. Yeah, 90 points remain. Yeah, something to do with balancing the tempers. He felt very refreshed after, but he couldn't even giggle or laugh or anything. Also, in the facts that she listed, she talks about how his Audi is a friend to the insane and elderly and children. And I don't know if you all recall in episode 1 when Devin asked Mark, like, how's therapy going with the good doctor with the weird mustache? And I know someone else had pointed out previously, like, is that Irving? I don't think it is, but it's kind of fun. All right. John is in here cooking up some theories. Let's take a look. My theory is that this is where they get the data that the other refiners are refining. Mark is refining Gemma, but the other refiners are refining their own tempers. Ooh, I love that. I've thought about that before. Are they refining themselves? That's why they have to try to enjoy all equally, because it's important to get an accurate reading and display of reaction might skew the ability to accurately encode the numbers for acquisition. Interesting. I definitely had several points throughout season 2 when I thought they were refining themselves. And I think that that would explain a lot about the weird people we have, like Rebecca and company. You know, are these just innies that have become their outie selves, merge them into one person? What are we thinking? Yeah, I think there is far more to Irving than what has been shown so far. He probably plays a larger role, just not have been revealed yet. Yeah, 100%. So this idea from episode 2, Dylan told Irving that he's been written up for dozing before. So even when we see him dozing in the paint, like that's not the first time. That's not his first infraction. So I was thinking during my rewatch, and I mentioned this in my video, that perhaps Irving's outie has been trying to get that message to him for a really long time. And we know that Irving says he's worked there, like any Irv says he's worked there for 3 years. But according to other sources, it's 9. So what else was he doing with those other 6 years? Was he a person on the testing floor? Was he a testee? Was he a tester? That testing floor elevator is in his memory for some reason. Yeah, and also who he's talking to on the phone. And was he talking to the same person that Petey's talking to when his phone is ringing and he's not answering the phone? All right, Mark, what you got? I think Irving is neurodivergent and is prone to temper tantrums. That's why his extra intuition and dreaming crosses over in a more extreme way. Very well could be. I feel like there's so much we don't know about him. I think that he's deliberately messing with his circadian rhythm so that he falls asleep at work. Like he's drinking extra coffee at night. He's, staying up late, all that stuff. I want to find out what happens to Irving and how he knows about the testing floor and why he was sending a message and who was on the phone. I know it felt like a goodbye, which I don't think he's not going to be in it. I just kind of wonder if maybe he won't be in Severance as much, or if he doesn't come in until mid-season 3. What are you guys thinking about the rewatch? Have you noticed anything else that I haven't brought up? I've noticed a lot. I mean, if I were making YouTube videos at the time season 1 was coming out, there was so much to talk about in those episodes. I mean, hot damn. Like, even just noticing that Cobel is like obsessed with Mark getting a good night's sleep. What's up with that? What's up with that? Ooh, Severance podcast. Yeah, I listen. Are you talking about the official one? I listened to that, and also there was this other podcast that I listened to after season 1 came out that was so well done, that basically just did everything scene by scene, showed things about the color, everything that I hadn't. Ooh, really? The official podcast. Well, I feel excited that I caught that. Because she brings over the chamomile cookies and then he's passed out. Okay, I guess I didn't hear that originally. That's so cool. Because I thought I was overthinking that. So is she drugging him to give him a good night's sleep so his innie doesn't feel hungover, or to go through his house when he's asleep and find the candle and other objects? But I mean, she could technically do that all day while he's at work. So why does she want him to sleep? Ooh, this is interesting. If you've seen the show Heroes, which I haven't, is it good? There's a guy who can paint the future. So perhaps Irving unlocked that ability by getting severed. So he's not seeing the black hallway as a past memory, but a prophecy. That would be crazy. That would be some, I guess, what would you call that? Like some divination of the future. I'm still interested in why they call the testing floor the exports hall. In the past, the older woman working in O&D noted the older name. Perhaps some Lumen employees are former test subjects. Yeah, so my take for that, when Felicia was talking about it with Irving, right, when she calls it the exports hall, I think it's because they only know it as the hall where the stuff they create, whether it's the dental tools or maybe other items that they 3D print go to get exported. And they obviously don't know it's being used to create, like maybe they 3D printed everything in the Christmas room. And so it was like, hey, we got to export this stuff, unless there's something I'm missing there. But it's definitely, rewatching is definitely putting things in a new lens. Yeah, what was it before, Miss Casey? I don't know. I mean, I would think that Lumen has tested maybe various iterations or various chips of the Severance chip. They used to bring stuff to exports and then it became testing and he came to get the stuff. Right, but does Felicia know it's called the testing floor? I think it's just the people who know it's for testing, like Mr. Maurer, think it's the testing floor. But the other O&D employees refer to it as the exports hall because that's where they export the things they create. Unless I'm like totally missing something. Hello, fat rodents. Welcome aboard. What are we doing with our Thursday nights now that we're watching Severance? So what else are y'all watching? Are you watching the Last of Us? I do want to talk about that at some point if everyone is okay with that, but we can keep it on Severance for now. The Studio, I'm watching The Studio too. But it's like I'm half watching it. It's on as I'm doing things. So sometimes I'm paying attention and sometimes I'm not. But it's funny. It's entertaining for sure. It's an interesting thing. Ooh, interesting. So John says, at one point she says, you'll sleep like a rag doll. There's also a scene where we see Kier and Imogen ragdoll later. So yeah, it's episode 2 where she says, you'll sleep like a rag doll. She says, come down to the shop and get a mugwort bath bomb. It'll have you sleeping like a rag doll. And that's indicating that Mark thinks that Mrs. Selvig works at some shop, like some Lush or some holistic studio, little boutique, which obviously she doesn't, but maybe she just says that so when she brings Mark the mugwort bath bomb, that he'll just trust her. I have to lubricate my vocal cords. That sounded weird, but I talked a lot today, basically. The Pit, great show. Lots of nice characters, beats in the ER stuff. Ooh, The Pit. I'm gonna have to look that up. What is The Pit? I haven't heard of that. The Pit is old school HBO, or wait, okay. A realistic examination of the challenges facing healthcare workers. Okay, so is it less soap opera-y and more drama, I guess. Ooh, okay, you guys are giving me some good things to watch, to put on my list. I really do need to watch Dark, though. That is high on the list. Cobel knows lack of sleep is impacting the data from the test, and she can't risk Mark having Irving drinks, but Mark drinks alcohol while Irving drinks coffee. Yeah, I remember in the first episode, in episode 1, she's like, oh God, Mark, you look awful. You look hungover. And so I think that she probably sees him coming in hungover and is like, bro, you need good sleep. Sorry guys, I'm feeling a mood shift. It's blue. Nicholas, hello. One thing that might be nothing, Helena being on the side of the innie. She says when she woke up on the outside, she was wearing a Save the Gorillas shirt, like Test Monkey. Oh, I don't even know what this is. I'll have to go back and check. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's the first thing that Cobel says to Mark. He's like, nice office, and she's like, oh, thanks, I hate it. By the way, you look awful. You look hungover. But of course, like any Mark doesn't know what that is because he doesn't drink alcohol. Oh, the ER. Yeah, that sounds really fast paced. The entire season takes place over that sounds like high stakes. 1 15-hour shift, and each of the 15 episodes is 1 hour. Ooh, that sounds really intense. That sounds like Righteous, or what is it? What's that Adam Sandler movie? Is it Righteous Gemstones? That level of intense. It's fun rewatching Severance because, some things you see like, oh, if I were to overanalyze this, I would think this, but, that it ends up not being anything. So it makes me wonder, like, what things did we grasp onto in season 2 that maybe won't be anything? I know a lot of people had some crazy ass theories that didn't come true, including me. Hey, Matt. Hello, Matthew. I want to know when we're going to get the answer, do the people live here on Petey's map? Yeah, same. So, that is my strong theory that I'm holding hard and fast, is they're gonna go through the whole map and go through everything. Because if Petey's map doesn't come up, if Petey doesn't come up, I will be like legitimately pissed. So I want to, people live here, could the goat people live there? I remember, who was it? One of you, Leon, or Lee, it starts with an L, had this theory that the goat people were maybe homeless people that they brought in to take care of the goat / kidnap. Maybe they live there. Mark says, were the bins, trash cans, Selving and Mark Scout were arguing about supposed to test to see if he remembered the sorting bins of MDR. Oh, that's interesting. So I always wondered about this because it's very weird. And I don't know if this is just a quirk, but I've never lived in a place where trash and recycling are collected on 2 different days. So that's why there was this perpetual confusion. Now, my theory, if my time dilation theory is correct, then it might be a test to see if Mark remembers the days of the week. Her mixing them up. Because remember in the first episode, he forgot that Devin and Rickon were hosting that no dinner party. Like, is he being kept for longer? Does he not know the days of the week? Roll Cake says, the funniest thing for me is that Helena came up with the worst cover story ever. Obviously the night gardener thing, but she came out of the elevator running and panting. Yeah, okay, so Helena is so stupid because you know what a gardener is more than the innies, or you know that a night gardener isn't a thing. So she, did you do zero preparation? You prepared 0% for that. It reminds me of her being there, reminds me of Frank and Rick in The White Lotus going to Jim Hollinger's house to talk about movies. Zero preparation for that. When the innies were talking about what they saw, she is a bad lie. She didn't prepare for that. Unless she does have a night gardener. I guess she could. But then I didn't notice any landscaping around their home. Looks like it's all snow. And it's winter. What the hell would a night gardener be doing in the winter? Oh yes, Uncut Gems. Thank you. I'm glad Severance isn't doing crazy theories. I hope they stay mostly grounded and keep to just 1 or 2 crazy ideas. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys watch Faceless Girl, but she was really, really into the babies being born with balanced tempers. And I thought that was cool, but that was pretty crazy. But that was cool. Like that would have fit in with the baby imagery, the eggs, the crib, the reproduction, like that fit nicely well together. Yeah, she monitored her innie and had time to prepare. For real, like the best minds of the world, you'd think that she's being prepped. She's watching videotapes of Helly. She's seeing how she acts. You'd think that if you're truly gonna go in as a Glockshupin, as a mole, that you'd have spent 5 seconds. Like even just being like, yeah, I was in an apartment, I had a dog and you know, whatever, I went outside, nothing happened. I got scared. I got scared or something. I don't know. Come on, Helly. Helena. Yeah, that's so awkward. The scene in White Lotus, I was like, you know, if I were sober, I would no longer be. If I were Frank, I'd be like, get me a drink ASAP. Helena being severed gives her a chance to break away from her father's control. Hello, Ryan. Yes, I love this series. So a lot of people think, okay, did she get severed because, you know, like her father made her or something like that? Like it was not her choice. Like he made it. He made her do it or pressured her or something. But low key, like if this were my dad, like you are damn right, I'm going to be getting severed as well. These are some leftover images, but I just kind of wanted to make my point. That's a really pixelated version of his jerk box. We need a day in the life of Helena where she waves at her personal night gardener, then makes a face. I want to know what what her life is like. Like, is it just her and her dad living in that house? Has she ever truly like gotten laid outside of the Ortbo? Does she ever just let loose a bit? Hang out? Nicholas says she may have been hinting something to Irving. Ooh, I wonder what that would be. Like, you think that she was trying to signal to him that she wasn't legit? It would be pretty crazy if Helena actually idolizes Dieter because she wants sexual liberation and despises obligement. Okay, what the hell is an obligement session? Is that... Everyone says like it's sexual, but I didn't catch that at all. So is obligement like someone's coming and like doing things with her, to her? What is it? Yeah, that would be interesting. I think that Helena thinks a lot of the Kier lore is bullshit. Yeah, she did not seem to want an obligement session. I guess I didn't really think about it like that much. Obligement session. Yeah, I don't know. Unless it's like, is it something like going to the break room or repeating something? Like, do they have a version of the break room on the outside? Or is it just like some sort of therapy or something to balance your tempers? Because he said your tempers are almost balanced. Ryan says, seeing Milchick commandeer the USC band at Severance press was great. I'm sorry that Penn State has a better football program than USC. Hey, don't talk shit about my alma mater. Just kidding, I don't care about that. Don't care. I went to one USC football game the whole time I was there. Yeah, Yeah, so I don't know. Like when I thought obligement session, I thought it could be something like the break room, their version of it, something to atone. I don't know, because in some way, like it was also her fault, right? They like blamed. I mean, they didn't blame her, but I think it did look like a failure on her end and a failure on Milchick's end as well. In general, I'm so sad that we don't have a new Severance episode to watch tonight. Like, doesn't that make you sad a little bit? I feel sad about that sometimes. I bet Drummond remonstrating Milchick was a mini obligement. Yeah, honestly, I think so. Matt says, I've been to more USC football games than you and I don't live in LA. Yeah, so here's the thing. I don't really understand football, like, or how it's played or anything. And when I was in college, I didn't have a lot of money and all my friends were really rich. So I would spend Saturdays waitressing and bartending because everyone who went to the USC football games or was going would come in and pay me a lot of money in tips because they were drunk. So that was my like great idea instead of going and enjoying the football games. That's what I did on Saturdays in college. Sometimes I worked my butt off. Hey, Debbie. Debbie, what's up? You're so funny. Does she think the temper balancing is all BS? I think she thinks some of it's BS because the way she laughs at the Dieter thing, obviously, I think she isn't even trying to be Helly there. I think she genuinely thinks it's bullshit. And then in episode 2, when Milchick's like, you know, Kier used to have 3 raw eggs for breakfast. She's like, yeah, I've heard. Do you think if she really worshipped Kier, she'd be like, yeah, I've heard. She'd be like, yeah, bitch, that's my grandpa or whatever. Great grandpa. I know. I also have eggs for breakfast. They're just not raw, which really grinds my dad's gears. Yeah, those were the days to make good tips. Very lucrative college job. Just serving drunk people more drinks after they went to college or went to the football game, the college football game. Yeah, so I think I went to one game. I went to one official USC game, and then I went to a few tailgates when I wasn't working, because you would get in really big trouble if you came to work drunk and went tailgating. Hello, Nelly. Rock Road. Do quite a few Lumen employees have tattoos of the companies or tempers? Yes. Okay. First of all, guys, I said I would get Frolic tattooed on my body if I hit 10K subs by the end of May. I don't think that's happening because it's May 1st and I'm still at 500 or 5,500, but that bet is still on the table. Yeah, so I really would love to see the other people who have the different tempers, because if this guy, if this guy is freaking Frolic right here, who is Dread? We're not ready for Dread. We're not ready for Malice. If this MFer is Frolic. Oh, thank you, Scallions. Truly love the community you built here. Yes, this group thinks for me half the time too. Claude Simeon says, hold on. What is it? Claude Simeon, that's funny. I can't decide if Helly is a true believer or jaded and wants to escape. Dad doesn't see Kier in her anymore. Maybe Lumen just repressed the Kier out of her. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, she clearly has been just kind of told what to do by everyone in her life. She's tried to prove herself. It doesn't work. And what's a girl to do? I mean, she literally did the ultimate sacrifice and got her brain severed to maybe impress her dad. And the one time her dad maybe came and said he was impressed with her was at the gala, and it wasn't even Helena. Honestly, I feel bad for Helena. I do feel bad for her. She's has that as a dad, that man. And then also the one time he was probably going to be like, oh yeah, you'll be with me at my revolving. It wasn't even freaking her. I get it. I would be pissed too. Yeah. John, what you got? What you cooking? I also have an idea that maybe the refiners have that little head cube Mark and the Italian man are given because they are the select few who are refining a loved one or a cherished one. Could be. Yeah, I mean, I think that is an interesting theory. Like, who else might have people on the testing floor? We know that Mark was given that cube for his freshman fluke, refining Allentown. And that was the first file he ever did. And that was the Christmas room. So she's been in there the longest, unfortunately. And maybe they made that connection that people are getting through files faster because they know the people, which just still begs the question, what are the other people refining? Just randos? Are they refining themselves? Yeah. I just had a thought and I forgot it. Anything can happen, yes. Dylan says dismissively about it, and yeah, he does. He's like, they just gave him that. But also Dylan says something fascinating in episode 2, which is that the data expires. He was saying that finger traps represent completing a whole file because not every file is refined and they only refine 1 in 5 files. So what the heck does that mean? Honestly, I worry that the Helena character is deceptively written in season 1. Yeah, she seems so different in season 1 and season 2. Like, even in season 1, she genuinely seems concerned about what's going on with her innie. She's like, oh, I really don't want to be in there, do I? Like, what's going on? Why do I keep running through this freaking door? And Milchick's like, don't worry, everything's all good. And she even says, like, sorry if I freak out on you. Like, she seems a lot more tamed, reserved, less like, oh, these people are fucking animals. Maybe that is a progression. Ooh, maybe the tattoos are reminders of what they're lacking. Honestly, S drag nasty, that would explain a lot more about this man having a frolic tattoo, for real. Yeah, maybe, yeah, that's the one temper he's repressed the most. Hello, silly boy. Favorite Avenger? Doctor Strange? Is he an Avenger? He's Marvel. Yeah. I hope he's him or Iron Man. What about you guys? Jiminy, yes, my background is in creative writing. I'm outed for that. Hello, Raspberry Logic. The scenes in the stairwell just don't ring true to season 2 Helena. Yeah, I thought that was fascinating. I feel like they set her up to be this cold person. I mean, we do have that video later in season 1 where she's like, I am a person, you are not. But I think genuinely, like, a lot of people just don't think they're people. Even Mark doesn't think that the innie is a person. Yeah, Kier dispatches of each of his tempers in a cave, conquers. Yeah, he aimed his tempers in the cave of his mind, is what he says. I would die if James Egan stood up. That would be so funny. He just has a full back tattoo of Dieter Egan's, like, and it holding his penis and melting into the forest. Sorry, YouTube, don't take me down. Penis. Yeah, sorry, I'm silly. Getting silly over here. Yeah, that would be so funny if he just ripped his shirt off and he has like his whole tree of all the people he sired. Dylan had the eels theory. Irving had the theory that they're censoring out curse words from television or from movies. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so we have to follow along with Helly's character arc. I'm trying to get through season 1 as fast as I can. Just had some life/other job things come up because I have a lot to say about all the characters. Mr. Vaca, what's for dinner? What's for dinner, everyone? Wish it were waffles. Okay, so Doctor Strange is DC Comics. Are you for real? He's not an Avenger? Oops. Iron Man then. Deadpool. Yes, Debbie. Deadpool is also very funny. Thunderbolts. Oh, nice. Enjoy. Get an extra large popcorn for me. I freaking love movie theater popcorn. I love it. I hope they explain why those guys are in the hidden room watching them are fine. Yeah. They didn't come back. Because after it was just Dr. Maurer sitting in those chairs, watching things himself. So what is the point of those people? Like, I thought we were doing twins. Those are the replacements. Some people said that's micro data refinement. Who are those people? Like, I honestly think that this was just a quirk. I genuinely would believe, like, I think a lot of things have an explanation in Severance. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get an explanation for this. Although I would like one, like, why did they also look similar to the people they were watching? Silly Boy says, any chance you'll do Squid Games season 1, 2, and 3? I freaking love Squid Games. My brother really loves Squid Games. And I am, wait, is season 3 of Squid Games out? Who else likes, so I watched season 1 of Squid Games because my brother made me. And I get really scared and freaked out. Honestly, guys, like, that's why I have a love-hate relationship with The Last of Us, because I get scared. Unfortunately, I do get scared. Debbie says we just saw Sinners in IMAX, and oh my goodness, that was amazing. Ooh, cool. I want to go see a movie this weekend, so maybe I'll go see Sinners. Maybe Frolic is what he calls his fist, like punching Mark with the Frolic knuckles. Yeah. I think, not to be too gross, but I think in my live stream with, I think in my live stream with, sorry, I'm just looking at these comments, with Real Enigmas, that it's on the, you know, the hand that people use to do the things. Yeah, that's all I'll say on that. Last thing on the Helena character, she mostly seems like the cold calculating Helena when she's with Cobel and the ortho. Yeah, she definitely has to go like toe to toe with Cobel. It's so fascinating to watch Cobel in season 1 look at Helena, because you can tell, like, Helena is Nepo Baby 101, and she does not, like, fuck with her. The irony of Kier drowning Dieter in the water, right? And it's okay, but when Irving does it, it's wrong. Make it make sense, yeah. He left his brother there to melt. Has anyone seen Dollhouse? No, but I want to watch it because I love, do you call her, say her name, Deechin? Because she's so good. I think Helena seeing Helly kiss Mark in the elevator scene broke her brain. That's why Helena is so different. Honestly, it could be, because maybe she like doesn't have that kind of life or that freedom or that ability to frolic and just go kiss someone randomly. And yeah. Oh, Doctor Strange is Marvel. Okay. Wait. I don't know what Doctor Strange is. I thought he was Marvel. Silly boy. Oh, I think I know who you are. All right, aliens and extraterrestrials at the bottom of everything is still plausible. IMO. Is that controversial? I have never thought about it. So I need to be sold. I need to ask my UAP people what their analysis is. Well, John, that's just because I don't have a life. Yeah. Silly boy says I like Monk as well as a TV show. Irving is in Monk. John Turturro is Monk's Monk's brother. Yeah, his no hand. That's where it's frolic. So as he's having his own obligement sessions with himself, he's seeing frolic. Mark says if they are supernaturally creating tulpas, they're Woe's Hollow twins. What if a fully formed twin, not a creepy malformed one, becomes an innie's new body and they can exist after each innie revolves? Ooh, I mean, I actually think this is really interesting because I do think that they do want to create more obedient. So I wonder if those weird deformed twins are vessels that they can program or something. There is some idea of replacement or replacing people. I do think like it's not clones. Obviously, they've said it's not clones, body doubles, whatever. But the idea that they can make people go missing and then test on them, I don't know. It's a half-formed thought, but I keep thinking the water tower will lift off. Yeah, just blast into space. A lot of interesting theories out there on the water tower. I know Cass, one of my awesome YouTube friends, talks about it being like a water of life type of thing, and maybe that is the revolving. You go in the water or something. There's a book series called On the Calculation of Volume. So far, 2 of them have been released, with a 3rd coming this year. But I think they're going to be 7. Ooh, okay, I'm writing. I need to write that down. Where's my pen? I love a good book rec. By the way, guys, if you're not reading The Expanse, we're reading that on Discord right now. And On the Calculation of Volume. Okay, I'm taking your word for it, Groucho. I'm rereading The Expanse with my Patreon and Discord crew, but always open for new things. Silly Boy has a point. There's a villain, Dr. Hugo Strange in DC. Okay. Did you notice that they are infusing ether in the wellness sessions? Ooh, Dawn. That's cool. I did. So they do have like an air diffuser. Ooh, huh. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I didn't notice that at all. Not at all. That is awesome. Okay, Scooter hates Binky from Arthur. Stop. I just feel like all of Severance is like an episode of Doctor Who, and the Doctor could come in at any time and help humanity and figure it out. I want to know what sort of reveals we get in season 3. Like, what's going to be our aha moments? Yeah, I freaking love Monk. Loved Monk. Irving plays Ambrose on Monk, and he talks about the Ambrose wing at Lumen. Yes. That was my first exposure to John Turturro, because I watched Monk before I watched The Big Lebowski. Clean and unclean hands. Frolic is the dirty Dieter. The dirty Dieter hand. Okay, so Doctor Strange is both Marvel and Avenger. It's settled. The golden child. It's settled. All right. John says, it seems that they only watch when the refiner is refining, and it seems like they're watching the refiner's expressions. Yeah, because why else would they have the cameras there? You know, one thing that's interesting is when Helly finally starts refining the numbers and sees a scary number, she genuinely seems shook. This is in episode 2 of season 1. She's like, guys, and then she's looking at it and she genuinely seems scared. Like she's feeling that, ooh, you know, imagine feeling fear when there isn't necessarily an input or stimulus to bring you that fear. So that's interesting, John. I think the idea is just to show that there are infinite layers. We think it's just the refiners, but there are people watching the refiners and probably people watching the watch list in another level. Yeah. I agree with that. I think that a lot of this idea is like how helpless, like Mark S inside feels so helpless in a couple episodes after the orco. And I think that's part of it. I am hoping Ragabi and Cobel team up to create a patch that can be sewn into Mark's scalp that can act as a Glasgow block he can control. Ooh, interesting. You have good theories, Mark. They're really out there, but they're cool. Yeah. Where has Cass been lately, by the way? I know, Cass, where are you if you're watching this? She just commented on something on Patreon with her top 5. I think she's been working on her own writing, but she finally chimed in on Patreon. So really, really excited to hear from her. Is your Discord public or Patreon only? I need to post the link. So the Discord, which shout out to Matt, he helped me set it up. There are a few public channels in there where we can discuss Severance and shows and stuff. The book club is Patreon only, and then there are some other Patreon only ones. So even if you join as a free member on Patreon, which you can, because I don't gatekeep anything on Patreon, so you should be able to join Discord through Patreon. But also I'm working on getting the link in my bio. The water tower looks like the alien, and oh my God, it does. Dude, I loved War of the Worlds. When I was a kid, like that was my favorite movie. I need to watch that again. One of my terrible theories is that the Lumen logo is a water tower, not a globe. Ooh, that could be, yeah. Yeah, the ether in the wellness session. Did anyone else catch that? I'm gonna have to go back and watch. I wonder what evil Hodor's backstory. His obvious daddy troubles was apparent through the episodes. I think that he is one of Jay Megan's bastard children who like gotta be the bastard, you know, just have to sit around and do the dirty work. Do you think the Lubin logo is a drop of blood, water, or something else? I think it's a drop of ether, a cure for all mankind. Scooter says amphibious assault vehicles or Harrier jets. I don't know, dog. What's a Harrier jet? Harrier jump jet, or I don't know, someone else answer that. I'm not qualified to answer that. It puts a spin on Kier, invites you to drink of his water. I thought it was a humidifier. Miss Wong said the humidity was perfect level, so why the nosebleed? That's true. I hope we get Milchick background. I hope they go deeper into Lumen as they do. They expand on the outside world, social climate, etc. Yeah, I think that season 3 will be simultaneously going out, spreading out into the world as much as it will go in. I think we'll have literally a bifurcated, a split segment of season 3 where maybe there's a couple episodes of the innies holding the severed floor. I think Dylan's wife could come in as like a hostage negotiator. And then meanwhile, on the outside, they're actually trying to gather forces. Hopefully they meet up with the Whole Mind Collective. Hopefully they meet up with Ragabi. They get Irving's ass back there. Miss Cobel, they form kind of like an unlikely squad to come together. War of the Worlds is mid Okay, maybe it is, but to my young child brain, it wasn't. Maybe she's sleeping. Yeah, she is. She is sleeping because she's in Europe. Cass, we're all talking about you. She lives in Europe, but she used to stay up all night to watch Severance. I think Miss Casey uses an essential oil diffuser, but it could definitely have hallucinatory effects. Yeah, I mean, if the goal really is to calm them or even to wake them up, right? Because if Irving is falling asleep on the job, maybe they need to diffuse some ether. I mean, doesn't ether kind of, I haven't partook, but doesn't it get you like, yeah, the logo's a drop of ether in a water tower. Whoa, Groucho, that's so cool. What if it's what if that's like part of their goal to paint the water supply? Because wasn't there an article hanging on the wall in the Chinese food restaurant where they talk about like water supply or salt snack water supply? Wonder who the so Jim Rodney says, wonder who the Mr. Drummond replacement will be in season 3. Yeah, because don't you guys feel like Mr. Drummond was the Grainer replacement in a way? Like he wasn't really on the severed floor, but he was like that Grainer. And clearly men in this particular position don't go well. Did you watch it? No, I didn't. I didn't watch War of the Worlds TV show. Scooter says, I'm literally Zach Cherry. If you're literally Zach Cherry watching this, then can you please DM me so I can interview you on my YouTube channel? We need to learn more about Natalie. Yes. Will Natalie come into things more? I hope so. Or do we think she'll always just kind of be a side character? I hope she becomes more, or just kind of like gets more involved in the world in general. Raspberry says, characters we need more background on in season 3, Ragabi, Miss Wong, Petey, and the Watchers. Do you guys think that Miss Wong is out? Is she done? I'm going to Norway. I thought about checking out Svalbard or wherever Miss Wong is, see if I can find my girl. Where are you at, Miss Wong? Ragabi, yes, I do think that kind of any Lumen person has maybe been a Wintertide or come up through that. Maybe the security guard will be the, yeah. I would also love a Natalie backstory. That the actress is so amazing, just in the eyes, how expressive she is. Do we think she's scared, or do we think she's brainwashed? Like when she gives Milchick that look, is she just like, yo, Seth, shut the fuck up? Or was she trying to communicate something else? All right, W3RD Smith says, been in Severance withdrawal for almost a month now, but your videos and streams have helped. Thanks. Yes, I'm trying to get out my rewatch faster of season 1 so that I can work on my character videos. Silly boy, Raspberry, you have an admirer in the chat. Yeah, I hope Miss Wong is not gone forever. Otherwise, like, what's the point? I know that Severance likes to have some fun, and I heard that, I think it was Dan Erickson said that they just kind of put the goats in there originally and didn't necessarily have this crazy plan for the goats. And I kind of wonder what else could just be not mean anything. I do think like in episode 9, which looking back, I think episode 9 was maybe one of my least favorite episodes of Severance, because it just, I don't know, it felt like they were trying to end the plot lines of these characters, but then if they all come back in a really epic way, I'll be okay with that. I fear she is out. Yeah, I think she could be. I kind of wonder if everyone in an important position, like Drummond, Natalie, if they're all like half brothers and sisters. Petey needs to make a comeback. This is one of the things that pisses me off the most about the rewatch that I'm doing is like Petey is so important. He's such an important catalyst. And I really don't think that much time has passed since Audi Mark has witnessed this man come into his life, watches him die, knows that it's because of something that he's involved in, that's literally in his brain, and nobody talks about him ever again in season 2. I don't think Miss Wong is out. I think maybe we meet her parents and they live in the houses from Petey's map. Ooh, interesting. I think she's a Wintertide fellow, like kind of like Miss Cobel. Maybe she will make a cameo. Maybe we'll have a flashback. I hope they learn their lesson about the casual GOAT edition and now make sure nothing in the show doesn't have a reason. Yeah, I think that they see that we're all too smart and obsessed, and if they're just throwing things in there to be quirky. Like, for example, we've talked like Twin Peaks, okay? Love the show. And I want to watch it again. I think that's a show that can just have weird things in it that don't always make sense. And I think that's okay. But with Severance, I don't think that's okay because there's too much going on. And it's too high stakes. Gabby, Arteta, Natalie, Helena, girls trip type episode. Wouldn't that be a swerve? That would be so funny. That would really make the fan base revolt. Like, you thought people got pissed at Sweet Vitriol. Imagine if they do a girls trip with Natalie. I'd like to give my unfiltered reaction to the Severance season 2 finale. To be quite frank, I think Mark experienced incredible amount of real feelings, especially as the whole floor grew bolder. Yeah, incredible amounts of real feelings. Yeah, Mark was on his own side quest though. I think Miss Wong is the senator and Gabby's oldest daughter. Could be. I feel like they have to come back in some way. Do you think Rickon wrote the jokes between Milkshake and Kier, or was even playing the voice of Kier? Ooh, interesting. So I know that they definitely had Mark Geller play the voice of Kier, but I do think that Rickon is already on Lumen's payroll, and I think that we're going to see a real villain arc from. I think we're going to see a really, really big villain arc from Rickon in season 3. And so I could definitely see that he was in there writing the jokes. They're helping him publish the UUR for innies, bringing him on the on the severed floor. Petey and the Watchers would be such a good band name. Yes, I agree. Rewatch Twin Peaks. Yeah, I watched it a while back, and I swear I was just like in a very weird headspace when I was watching it, so I need to go back with a clearer mind. Yeah, why isn't Dylan's wife at the girls' trip? Because homegirl's taking care of their damn kids and holding that household down. Bye, silly boy. You're so silly. Hi, Bit Gaming. Welcome. Yeah, we're having a waffle party here. Need to actually bring some waffles to the party next time. Can we assume that that map that Petey drew on the big piece of wood at the rundown nursery is still there for any Audi to find? Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he brought it with him. That is such a cool point, Jim. I wonder about that. Could the board be a hedonistic, eyes wide shut type group that views Jaime Egan as a joke? It could be. I do think that there's definitely a divide between quote, between kind of the new era of Lumen, the new era of Egans and like the older Egans. And I think that, it's kind of like a point of contention as well. So I do think that divide will be interesting. Okay, I don't like that. There we go. Is a hot dog a sandwich? I don't know. Do we need a poll? Anyone here watching The Last of Us? Or no? I feel like that's definitely the show of late that at least I'm watching now, because Severance is over. Because I did want to talk a little bit about it, but if not everyone's caught up, I definitely don't want to spoil things because there's some pretty big spoilers that happened recently. Okay, yes, Jim, honestly, it's really scary and I really don't like zombie things. But here I am watching The Last of Us. Actually, I wasn't even going to watch this season because season 1 was good, but I just like it was good, but it was like there were certain standout episodes and then a few other episodes blended together, and then it was just all like zombies. And I don't like zombies. But yeah, some of the episodes in season 1 like freaking broke me, like actually broke me. But all right, so yes, watching but not loving. Yeah, I mean, especially like episode 3 wasn't great. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but I just think it's like, I'm not excited about it. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Sunday. This is on. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. There's a new show to watch, but it's not like Severance where I'm like frothing at the mouth, like literally frothing to watch. What else is everyone watching? Trying to go back through here and see what answers I didn't get, what I didn't get answered in season 2. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of severed people coming out from the shadows. Like, what if Irving contacts all the people he's been talking to, like the pregnant lady that maybe got raped on the severed floor, or these people that had some injury or something, and those people all come together. Like, we really see far and wide, because we had new severed employees this season, but only for an episode, and then they were gone. So what if we actually get to learn more about Severance through other employees that they've wronged? That could be interesting. Let me see what else. This was us 1 month ago watching Severance. Did any of you watch the Star Wars Rogue One prequel series Andor? No, but I have some people on Discord that are really liking that show, and I thought I would check it out. Real Enigmas was talking about common side effects. Ooh, I'll write that one down too. It's pretty great. Okay. I'm watching that Apple TV show with John Hamm. It's like kind of silly. It's not like, it's just kind of just watch it when you don't feel like actually like challenging your brain. I think Helly using willpower to try to remember additional places on the globe acts as part of Helena's neuro pathway, so is influencing Helly without her knowledge, so remembering leaked it. That is very interesting to me, Mark. And I also think that if you think about the innies when they go into the break room and how things leak through, remember how Dylan said that he hears this crying noise, he hears these kids crying. which are his kids, and Helly hears this old grumbling man, which is her freaking creepy ass dad. You have to think that when they're focusing on other things, like not just macro data refining, it almost opens up a portal like osmosis for things to leak through and seep through. So I think this is a great point. Still so much unanswered on Severance. I hope we get a jam-packed season 3. Yeah, I really hope they stick the landing. I mean, I feel like we got some questions answered, but even more remain. And it's like, I'm feeling the way I did with Game of Thrones at a certain point where I'm like, I just can't wait to see all these people come together. Like, we know things have to come together eventually. I know we still might have some more time on Severance, but I've been thinking about that. The new season of Black Mirror has been interesting. I liked the new season of Black Mirror, especially certain episodes. I put a review up about that. What if they push the beehive button and everyone in town ails up? Yeah, so right now I feel like the innies might control the severed floor. Now, we don't know where the new security room is. We don't know where all those switches live, but they do have control over that. So I do hope we get to learn more about those switches and what beehive means, because beehive could mean hive mind, where everyone is in the hive mind, or it could mean like attack, right? Because Rickon talks about, I mean, he's wrong about the beehive, bee society being like human society, and you have queens, workers, and wasps, which I guess wasps aren't even, like, it's just not all true, but maybe that is something for beehive theory. Willpower is like love, both powerful enough to transcend Severance. Interesting. Real Sinners breakdown has like 370k views. It's fire. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna have to look into that. I love all these recs. Thank you. I've heard really good things about it. Ooh, yeah, he got a ton of views on that. That's awesome. I'll have to check that out once I watch Sinners. Okay, I'm gonna watch it this weekend. Y'all have convinced me. I'll get an extra large popcorn. I think I've only ever seen 1 or 2 streamers discuss the fact that Helly and Gemma's Severance chip serial numbers are the same. Yeah, we talked about that in a live stream. I think I have that somewhere in here, actually. I have that here, actually, but you probably can't see it. But then I think they changed it. Well, it's like their numbers are different, but it was how they showed up on the file. We know from the dental room, feelings and senses pass the barrier. Why didn't this happen, though? I think I say that almost every stream. And also this didn't happen. Are we only going to get 1 new Severance protocol each season, OTC in season 1 and Glasgow block in season 2? What other one? So we have Beehive, Clean Slate. Let me find that photo, actually. We'll talk about it. Beehive branch transfer. Why do they need a protocol for branch transfer? Let me get this pulled up here. Yeah, I also saw that maybe that was an error because they did change it. They did fix it. Let me show this. Beehive branch transfer. We'll probably talk more about this when I do the review of this. Clean Slate, Elephant, Freeze Frame, Glasgow. OTC is not, well, he had to scroll. I think he had to scroll, so there's others. Lullaby, open house, goldfish. Interesting. I hope we get more. I hope we see more. Man, I hope we find out what happens with the damn Lexington letter. So branch transfer, that's obvious. Beehive, we don't know. Also interesting, sequence, uplink, geoparameter, all interesting things. Elephant, what does elephant mean? Because elephants have really long memories, right? I think we will see a bunch of protocols used in season 3, especially in the first few episodes. Yeah, I could see them like just trying a bunch of things and being like, whoa, what the hell was that? What just happened? An elephant never forgets. Yeah, could an elephant be like they're either remembering things if they've been reset before, or they're, because it's like it can't undo the severance, so it's not like they're gaining access. It's not reintegration. It has to be memories of maybe things that, I don't know. They would need to bring up the Lexington letter in the show since a majority of viewers probably don't know about it. Yeah, that is true. Sometimes I get sad and think about that the Lexington letter may have just not been something like, may just be a fun kind of, you know, like a novella. You know, when people like James S.A. Corey or Brandon Sanderson write these like little interim story novellas that you don't really need to understand the broader story. Sometimes I worry it's about that. Yeah, I think elephant could be a form of it, but I thought until Petey, they didn't think it was possible at all. So color me confused. I love The Expanse so much. Yeah, I'm currently rereading it. And we're talking about it on Discord, and I'm just so excited about it. I finished book 1 in like a week. I'm on book 2, and I have a video dropping about it maybe tomorrow. Hold on, I'm just gonna have a sip of water and then read the next comment. Sorry, I was really thirsty. Debbie Ebby Bobebby says, I have a theory about branch transfer. When Dario, Mark W, and Gwendolyn were transferred from a different branch, they just had that switch activated instead of actually coming from another place. Ooh, wow. That's interesting. Like, they were where they were, but it was kind of like a virtual reality thing, or like, do you think they were solid, real people? That's very interesting. Or the changing serial numbers could be like the changing painting. Maybe there's a way in which her saying I am her was a nod to the serial number overlap. Yeah, the way she says I am her was very interesting. Maybe the elephant can just force a particular memory across the severance barrier. Yeah, if they need her. Because you think they have all of these protocols, these functions as like fail safes, or you know that they have the OTC, and the only time they used it is to figure out where Dylan put that thing, which is kind of crazy. So what were these created for? I mean, it seems like in Sweet Vitriol, Cobel says that, like she invented them along with Severance. Like these protocols were created or thought of while Severance was thought of. Chris, hey Chris, I'm watching the Studio. We did talk about it a little bit. I think some of us are watching it. I think it's a cool show, like very interesting concept. I think it's just kind of easy to watch. It's just fun to watch. Just kind of watch it like at night when I'm winding down, or if I'm working on stuff. So sometimes I'm not paying attention to the whole episode. I really liked episode 2, which was like the one-shot one. That was cool. There were 2 protocols. What was, oh yeah, I guess if branch transfer was used. Now I want actual waffles. Me too. Maybe next live we can have some waffles. Maybe I need a waffle maker actually, because I don't own one. Blueberry Belgian is better than everything. What's everyone's favorite waffle topping? I like fried chicken or just butter and good quality maple syrup from Canada. The I'm Her line by Helly was one of the most mysterious that was not discussed enough. Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what you pair it with, right? Because if you pair it with Helly saying, you know, you can save Gemma and like one of us will get out, because she almost feels like it's too great, like the oppressive force. Because I think Mark had a moment where he's like, yeah, what are we even trying to do here? Like, they know everything. But Helly is so rebellious and combative the whole time. So it was just kind of weird for her to be like, I'm her. Yeah, there's no hope. Because I feel like she's always been this person who has had hope. Seth Rogen, yeah, he's so funny. He's so talented too. The man really has some good range. Elephant could be the opposite of clean slate. If you have the elephant protocol on and they wipe everyone with a clean slate, you are unaffected. Okay, so that kind of makes my brain hurt, because someone was saying last live stream was that if, like, how do you choose, you know, because if the Orpo was truly outside, then they wouldn't need a Glasgow block on Helena. They could have just not turned the OTC on for her. Because clearly they turned the OTC on for Dylan one time and it was nobody else. You know, Dylan turned the OTC on for all of them. So this is gonna make my brain go in circles. It would be wild if Hampton somehow popped up and acted like an agent of chaos when they least expected it. Yeah, I want to know when he's like, tame these tempers, assholes. Who was coming round the bend? Who was coming around? Canada. We got lots of love for Canada in here. Maple syrup is so good. I like to put it on steak, which is weird, but it's so good. Cornbread waffles with fried chicken hot sauce. Let's go, Debbie. That sounds fucking fab. Now I'm hungry. I thought she said it just to reassure him. She saw that he had doubts and she reassured him. I need to go back and watch it again. Jim says that Helly, I'm her line delivery was kind of heartbreaking, especially with Mark's, but I want to spend it with you. Yeah, I kind of wonder if, you know, Helly had that interaction with Jane the day before and was like, all right, screw this guy. I want to take this company down. Like, this is awful. But maybe she realized that even if she takes the company down, that she is still Helena Egan. Like, there's no escaping that. And so maybe she said that to kind of convince Mark that you could at least save a completely innocent person who could go on to live their life and maybe even actually bring down this company. But whether this company stays and thrives or whether this company meets its downfall, I'm still her. And I can't escape that. Elephants could restore all their memories. But then reintegration would be possible. I thought reintegration wasn't possible unless they've been hiding it this whole time. Perhaps Bert is an elephant. Yeah, maybe. We need a payoff for Hampton. Don't diss the Vermont maple syrup. Is there a difference? I don't know what the difference is between Canadian and Vermont. Do they taste the same? I wonder what kind of food the severed employees get for lunch. Yeah, Mark, on his checklist in episode 1, it was talking about, you know, check the lunches, review lunches. Rebecca is a goat. I am convinced that Rebecca is a goat, or Rebecca and all those people are Severed employees. Like if you go back and look at the no dinner party, the one guy, I think it's the same guy who is like, I found your baby. He's so eager to please. He's like, oh, look at this, listen to this. He's so smug and smarmy, almost like he's hunting for perks. Like he kind of reminds me of Innie Dylan a little bit. They've been teasing us about reintegration. If Petey's an indication, Mark ain't long for this world. I just need Mark's reintegration to pay off. I mean, she flooded the chip. So what does that mean? She flooded the chip. She is so weird. They all act like innies. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Duce Falco. I hope I'm saying that correctly. If not, please do correct me. Why haven't you played CO Expeditions 33 yet? It's the game of the year. Fantastic story and gameplay. Well, I will have to check it out. So here's the thing. I am not really a gamer, but is this a game that's friendly for non-gamers? Because I really will listen to you if you say it is. And thank you again for the very, very kind donation. I appreciate that. Debbie says, failed severed goats, Rickon, Scales, Walls, Lake goat. Yeah, maybe they are these weird goat. I mean, maybe they are the previous version of an innie trying to refine its outie, but then the goat. Maybe they were trying to, I don't know. I could see it both ways. Rickon's baby's middle name is Rebecca. I think they are brother and sister. I know he has a brother, at least from the UUR, right? He has a brother, but he was born like a piece of art. What is it? In performance art. Rickon is so not kosher. Do you mean kosher like real kosher? Like he doesn't eat pork? Or kosher like the more broad thing? Rickon and Rebecca. They really did drop the ball on Mark's reintegration. Yes, they did. Very sad. It's on Game Pass and it's good. Okay, I'll check it out. You guys are gonna turn me into a gamer. Watch this. Next time I'm on this live stream, I'll be gaming. But so is the Oblivion remake. I've been playing both all week. Put it on story mode. How wild will it be in season 3 as Mark's reintegration continues to progress and he starts doubting Helly as his memories of Joe? I'm so excited about this. I want to see Mark sabotage himself, right? Because Innie Mark is on the severed floor and he's in love with Helly and he wants to live happily ever after with her. And then all of a sudden he's going to be like seeing Gemma in his mind and Outie Mark will like take over. And then what if Innie Mark is trying to stay on the severed floor as Outie Mark is trying to get him off the severed floor, and then he actually becomes a liability because, you know, they don't know who he's gonna be. They don't know who is speaking to them at what time. Tell the truth, you know she ain't gonna be able to do all them dodges and parries. Well, I mean, I do box, so is it like boxing? I'll have to check. The story, yeah. I used to play SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom as a kid, but I think I've since lost my hand-eye coordination with games. But I do play, I have played some Call of Duty with my brother, and he does UFC, which I play with him. I meant kosher as in Rickon is possibly an Egan or possibly a goat. I mean, he's possibly a lot of things, but I know he is not kosher. LOL, bro is weird. Bro is weird. I need a Ragabi Cobel alliance to prevent Gemma from suffering Severance barrier sickness and simultaneously modify her 25 innies to be augmented in abilities instead of suffering Dr. Mauer's hell. Man, I just hope all of her innies are dead. I know that's kind of bad, but I hope we get Gemma because that's a lot to reckon with. Do you guys think that's what Dr. Mauer meant when he said you'll kill them all? Let me know. What do you think? Now you guys got me wanting to go watch Sinners. Is it too late to watch it and make a video about it? There are so many videos to be made on my list. My list is long. A lot of people have requested talking about the new Harry Potter casting, which I just don't want people to get mad. Ragabi coming back to save the day in season 3. If Ragabi doesn't come back, then also I will have a problem as well. Rickon is definitely a blue-eyed Egan bastard. I wonder, because I mean, he said his parents were performance artists, but James Egan, I could definitely see him as a former theater kid skulking around back there. Maybe Rickon's mom was severed. I don't know. In the UUR, Rickon mentions a social worker, how he had a social worker, and he just dropped that in casually. It's like, what was going on at home, bud? Okay, you guys are single-handedly convincing me to game again. Either Gemma's testing for innies or she'll kill all the past Egan CEOs. Ooh. That's interesting. As in, like, some of her innies were the past CEOs, because that would be fascinating. I need that new season. Oh, yes. I'm so excited for House of Dragon. I know season 2 wasn't as good as season 1. I made so many YouTube videos about House of Dragon and nobody watched them. But I'm going to make more when season 3 comes out because I love House of the Dragon. You should totally. Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thanks for the support. I think I'm going to go see that this weekend because I wanted to see a movie. Sinners has been on my list. I've been so busy. I haven't been able to see it. So I'm going to go to the theater. And it sounds like Debbie Bobebby would recommend it in IMAX. My initial thought is you'll kill them all means everyone with a chip, but now I'm not sure. I like your theory too. Yeah, I just wonder if he had some weird plan where he thought that he would get up, live happily ever after with her innies, or maybe thought maybe there is a way to take those innies out of one body and reprogram them into somebody else's brain. And because he's like basically in love with some of her innies. I didn't watch House of the Dragon, but I enjoyed some of your House of the Dragon shorts. So yeah, I was on TikTok. Some of my House of the Dragon TikToks got like millions of views of my dad and my sister. Check them out on TikTok. Those were fun. That was a fun thing to do last summer. Rickon is giving homeschooled. Yes, Chris. He's giving homeschooled. Poor guy. I mean, I think he has a lot going on. And I don't know. I read the UUR and I don't know my U type. I don't know. I completely messed up the timeline of this because I thought that the UUR was published already. And I totally forgot. I had to go back and watch it. It was more advanced copies and it was like truly Lumen's intervention that maybe stalled the publication of his book. I'm not watching House of the Dragon. Fool me once. Yeah, I know some people didn't like it. Gab, I have to run, but I'll see you on Patreon and Discord. Okay, thanks, Jim. Bye. I know I'm gonna hop off soon in a couple minutes here as well. But let's talk a little bit more before I do that. Thanks for joining. As always, Jim, great theories, great thoughts. John says, I'm going to see The Shroud this weekend. It's the new David Cronenberg movie. I kind of want to go in blind, but I'm hoping it's good. Shroud. The Shrouds. Ooh. The Shrouds? I'm scared. That looks scary. Yeah, I wanted to make a video of me reacting to a scary movie because it's actually so dumb. Like, I was gonna watch Nosferatu or something. That was one of my video plans that I never did a few weeks ago, or like a couple months ago, because literally half of the time I'm watching The Last of Us, I'm under the covers. But I'm gonna check it out. But John, I am going to rely on you to maybe make a review of that. Wordsmith, thanks. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed each moment equally. Go get some food. Thank you, chat. Yeah, I haven't watched Nosferatu. Thought about watching it. Well, thank you guys all so much for joining me. I think we're gonna just have to make these regular Waffle Party Thursdays. The Nun, that's also a scary movie, isn't it? I don't watch scary movies. I'm so obnoxious to watch scary movies with because I'll just hide under the covers the whole time. It actually makes me really scared. And then at night, I can't fall asleep because I'm just scared that whatever thing is going to come get me. So I definitely, like, my brother who was in this chat earlier, he loves scary movies and I can't do it. So I give props to people who can withstand. I'm too sensitive. John says, if you like movie theater popcorn, it must look like those trailers where they show the audience reacting and they throw popcorn at every jump scare. Yeah, that's me. I hate it. I hate jump scares. Hate them. When I was a kid, I watched this movie called Mars Attack. Some of you probably know it. I literally could not sleep for like a year. A full year, I couldn't sleep when I watched Mars Attack. That was the most terrifying movie I've ever seen in my life. Popcorn topped with jalapenos. Ooh. Whoa. Why do I feel like that would be so good? I like Parmesan cheese on my popcorn, which is weird. I freaking love movie theater popcorn. I want to go to the movies this weekend just to eat movie theater popcorn. I'll like eat it for dinner. It's so good. Do you put jalapenos on it at the movie theater? Or what do you do? If Mars Attack made you not sleep for a year. Okay, to be fair, I was like 6 years old when I watched Mars Attack, but I'm the same girl. When I was a kid, I would watch movies and I did not know that they were real. I mean, I watched things like, you know, Schindler's List and some real serious movies when I was really young. And I just like genuinely thought like Hitler was still alive and I would have nightmares. I was a very terrified child. Yes, Mars Attack was so scary. I haven't watched it again as an adult because that was the scariest thing I ever saw as a kid. And then what's the scary movie where Insidious or something, where the guy goes to the house? That movie, that was probably the last, that and Squid Games. What movie was that? I can't do scary movies, guys. Yes, Insidious was so freaking scary. Chucky gave me nightmares. I never saw that. Literally the idea of Chucky gives me nightmares. I remember not being able to sleep because of War of the Worlds, but movies don't scare me like then. Yeah, I wish I had bigger balls, I guess. Rewatch Mars Attack. Yeah, I've looked up photos of it because I'm like, what was I truly afraid of? And then because also Beetlejuice scared me as a kid. Beetlejuice gave me such bad dreams. But now Now, you know, I'll watch an episode. I watched episode 2 of The Last of Us right before bed, and I had like fucked up dreams. Yeah. We need a Discord. Okay, Chris, you can lead the Discord horror movie watch party, and I'm only gonna watch it if you guys are live with me watching it, because I need, and then I'm gonna need to talk for like hours after to get my mind off of it. I'll have to watch like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia or something to fully get my mind off of it. What are you watching first? Hereditary? I told you, have you guys seen Insidious? I think that's genuinely the last scary movie I saw, and that came out in 2011. I think, was that the, wait, that might not be it. It's like where this guy goes to the house and sees like videos of people unaliving themselves who previously lived there. That was terrifying. I heard Hereditary is really scary. I won't sleep. I'll be up all night just thinking that they're gonna come and get me. All right, guys, on that note, before I scare myself too much, I think I'll, ooh, wait, that's Mars Attack, right? See, it was so long ago, I don't remember. All right, anyway, friends, I'm going to head out for the evening, go eat my waffles, maybe watch the new episode of Studio. And thank you all. Thank you to everyone who joined tonight on our first weekly live stream. I'll see you here next week as well. I might have to adjust it to Wednesday just for next week because of a travel thing. But thank you guys so much. Head over to Patreon. Sinister. Wait, was that it? Hold on. Yes, that was the scariest movie. That was so scary. You're so right. Okay. That's gonna give me nightmares, just like looking at that. Okay, I gotta go. I can't talk about horror movies anymore. Thanks for joining on this waffle party. Had so much fun with you guys and can't wait to see you again next week. Keep me updated. I'll be releasing my Expanse video and my Severance episode 3 video. I have a lot of other videos that I'm trying to make. I'm just trying to find the time. Just need to quit my job, win the lottery so I can make YouTube videos all day long. Have a great night, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. Don't get severed. See you soon. Bye.